Discover the best-kept secrets from the leading entrepreneurs across the globe. Learn from the greatest minds in business with the MyCoda podcast. Here's your host, Sam Payne.
What's up, everybody? Sam Payne here, and welcome to the show. Now, today's guest is Peter Shankman, and Peter, firstly, he's just awesome. Really great guest on the show, very nice guy, and he's doing some incredible work. And guys, he's been so successful in everything he's done over the years. He's been an entrepreneur and running his own businesses now for 19 years, which is way past the days when it was cool to be an entrepreneur. If you look on Facebook today, I look at my Facebook feed and I see so many different offers, very kind offers from people telling me they're going to show me exactly how to make £1 million in 2 days on Amazon and how to do all this crazy stuff. And then it's to the point where it just becomes cool. I'm going to put this out there. I know people who perceive themselves to be very successful at what they do. They put themselves out there and they will rent nice cars for the day, and they will go out there, take loads of photos, and then tell you how they've made their money and how they've become so successful. I was a little bit annoyed by this, but not that I'm annoyed about it now. I'm over it, trust me. But one guy who I've been following for a while, and he posted a picture up of him with a very nice car, and he said he's finally got his dream car. Now, I actually messaged him and said, congratulations, I've been following you for a while. It's great to see you're killing it. Well done. Keep doing what you're doing. I'd love to hear how you're getting on in the future. And just, again, congratulations. Then he messaged me back saying, oh, thanks, man. Yeah, really cool. Very happy with the car. Been a dream of mine. How are you doing with your sales stuff? All very well and good. Try pitching me a sales thing. Of course he would. But then I later found out that he rented that car for the day to do that photo shoot and that video, which really annoyed me because it takes away from the point of people who are actually successful in what they do. Like Peter, he's not out there to rent cars and take pictures and make himself look like he's doing well. Peter is genuinely killing it, absolutely killing it. And he's been very successful over the years. But he talks about a number of things, guys, like being one level above crap. A very easy, simple concept you can use and apply it to your businesses, which will help you succeed. It's that simple. He talks about how he's ended up naked in his front room for 3 hours before on Facebook, which is a very random story, but it made me laugh, and it's probably one you want to hang around to listen to, because not many, I think it's the only guest that's come on the show and talked about how they're naked in their front room for 3 hours. And on top of that, guys, he's got a very cool story. Peter actually suffers the wrong word. He's got A.D.H.D. And the work he's doing with his company at the minute called Faster Than Normal is where he's actually helping people understand that if you've got A.D.H.D, it's actually a blessing as opposed to a curse. A lot of people think of A.D.H.D as a curse. But actually, Peter's doing so much work with Faster Than Normal and highlighting exactly how you can use A.D.H.D or A.D.D as well. He also talks about A.D.D. And turn it into an asset. Turn it into something that can propel you and your business to success. So even if you haven't got A.D.H.D, guys, this was something that I was very interested in because I haven't got it personally. I've got a friend who's got A.D.H.D, but he doesn't run his own business. So for me, I had no real connection to what Peter was talking about. But what I did find very interesting about Peter was the fact that how these simple concepts can be used by anybody and help them grow their business. On top of that, guys, he's just one of the nicest, most genuine guys I've ever interviewed on this show. So enjoy this one, guys. This is a really good interview, and I know you're going to get a lot from this one. So here is the MyCoda podcast with Peter Shankman from Faster Than Normal. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the MyCoda podcast. Today's guest is Peter Shankman. Now, Peter is a best-selling author, podcaster, consultant. He's a speaker, advisor, runs his own mastermind group. He's founded some extremely successful companies, including Harrow and Geek Factory, and is currently working on Faster Than Normal. Peter, how are we doing today?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming on. Firstly, you have achieved so much. How do you find time? You must be working like 24/7.
It's actually one of my favorite subjects to talk about. I just prioritize. I know what's important to me. I know what's not important to me, and I know what I'm willing to give up to do the things I want to do. And it sounds ridiculously simple, but a lot of people don't do that. The people who shout, "Oh, I don't have the time," it's like, well, you totally have the time. You just because I don't have any more time than anyone else. You just choose to prioritize differently.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Actually, do you know what? It's one of the things that um, people I'm helping. I helped a guy actually with his business, and he told me he had no time, and it was funny because I asked to look at his diary, and I actually picked out about 5 hours every day, which he could utilise on his business, and it was just things like he liked watching Netflix and things like that. It was like, no, cut that out, mate. Like, get on with the business.
It kills me. It's like I know someone who always complains that she wants to work out. I said, well, you don't start work until 10 a.m. Why don't you go to the gym at 5:30 in the morning? It's just, oh, I need my sleep. I'm too tired. I'm like, well, why don't you go to bed early? It's like, oh, I'm too busy at night. I'm like, you're on Facebook.
Yeah.
Don't work for Facebook. There's absolutely no reason why you couldn't go to bed an hour earlier.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, you've obviously achieved so much with your own businesses, and with everything you do, well, on the surface it seems to be a success. I'm sure not everything has gone to plan, but has entrepreneurship always been in your blood? I mean, have you ever had a normal job?
I did have a normal job. I started my career actually as one of the founding editors of America Online.
Oh, wow.
At the newsroom. But the thing about that was, as great as the job was, it wasn't normal in the respect that you go in and sit down, you clock in at 9 a.m., you leave at 5 p.m. Like, we worked a lot of times 24 hours a day, like, breaking news and things like that. And we were basically building this newsroom as we started. And so the problem for me was that when I left AOL and took my second quote-unquote real job, 3 weeks in, I wanted to blow my brains out because, what do you mean I only have an hour for lunch? What do you mean I can't go to the gym in the middle of the day? What do you mean I have to be at meetings every day at 10 a.m.? What the hell? What is this, Russia? It was totally not my thing. And so I realized, okay, this might not be okay. And it took I think it was about a year later that I said, okay, I'm going out on my own. And the funny thing was, I've had one mantra for as long as I can remember, and the mantra is very simple. It's if this doesn't work, I'll go get a job. And I've always had that mentality. If whatever I'm doing doesn't work, I'll simply go get a job. Well, it has been almost 19 years.
Wow.
And it has never felt like work. So that is a benefit.
Yeah. So, I mean, you was an entrepreneur before being an entrepreneur was cool. It's all the rage now, right? Everyone wants to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
But, you was doing it before it was even on Facebook, which is cool.
Yeah, I got lucky. It's for me. It was. I just realized that, and it wasn't even so much wanting to be an entrepreneur. It was wanting to work in a way that worked for me. I realized at an early age that, I wasn't normal, and for years, of course, I thought it was a bad thing, and then, of course, I finally realized it was a great thing. But all I was trying to do when I went on my own was just trying to figure out a better way to work that would make me happy. And I remember there was one point where I was, for the first 6 months that I was on my own, I lived in a studio apartment in Manhattan, and I'd hear other people leaving for work every day, and I felt unemployed. I had clients, but I totally felt unemployed.
Yeah. No, I get that. You weren't in the rat race with them, which is a perk.
Yeah. It is. Well, now, of course, now it totally is. I mean, but the funny thing is now, there was no doubt in my mind that over the past 19 years, I've worked so much harder than anyone else.
Yeah.
Right. But, that's what we do. We work hard because we love it, not because we're forced to.
Oh, absolutely. And I suppose working at AOL, I mean, that's a really awesome platform to start from, right? Because did that give you a really, really good insight into the online world and how you could really utilize this?
It was pretty amazing. Yeah. I mean, not only the online world. The online world was great, but what I really learned, what really blew my mind, was the ability to understand that you try to create something, and if what you're doing works, you do more of it. If what you're doing doesn't work, you try something else. And the beauty of AOL was that they really let you think that way, and they really let you embrace that concept that, try what you're doing, see how it goes, and if it doesn't work, or we won't fire you for it. Go try something else and see if that works. And so they gave us that most people at their first job don't get that, and so that was great because that really taught me sort of how to start my career. And I've never deviated from that. I've always been of that mindset that I'm going to, and I think that a lot of that has to do with the A.D.H.D as well, but it's the premise that, I'm going to try something. If it works, great. So very, very fortunate.
Yeah.
Very fortunate in that regard.
And, we're definitely going to talk about the work you're doing with Faster Than Normal and going into the ADD and ADHD's content that you cover and how it's helping people, because I think it's an incredible concept that I haven't seen before. But coming back slightly, I mean, I first sort of stumbled across you through listening to Chris Ducker, and then I went and checked out like your TEDx talk on how being nice is beneficial, and off the back of that checked out your books, and one thing which I loved was your one-liner, which was being one level above crap, which it really sort of rung true with me, and it's something I've actually used a lot, and I think that a lot when I'm producing content for my clients and my businesses. But can you elaborate on this for us and highlight to the listeners how they can really implement this and how it will benefit them in doing so?
Yeah, well, it's actually very basic. We expect to be treated like crap in any industry, right? I mean, think about the last flight you had. Think about the last good flight you had. That's probably a lot harder.
Yeah.
So the premise of simply being a little bit better than what people expect is a game changer. To be able to, you don't have to be awesome, right? The simple act of saying thank you or smiling at me, or simply not saying, oh, I can't do that because that's not the way it's done. Thinking for yourself. Those little tiny things really change the way people expect their day to go. We expect such crap, and so just the ability to be a little bit better than that it's really a game changer.
Yeah. And one thing I found on your site actually was the blog post you write about the M&Ms on the aeroplane, and it's a great post because it highlights just that, literally the smallest thing of giving the flight attendants and people on the flight a pack of M&Ms, how it instantly lifts the mood of everyone on that flight. I mean, have you found like you've always had like this knack for just making people feel good?
I like making people feel good. It's the premise that a rising tide lifts all boats, right? So if I have to be trapped in a metal tube with these people for the next 8 hours, and all it costs me is like $6 or whatever to make it a much better flight for everyone, why wouldn't I do that? It's not so much being the hero as it is just being a nice person. It certainly doesn't. It certainly doesn't hurt, and it costs very little. No reason not to.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, if you take that example of doing something as small as that, but it makes such a huge difference to the outcome of that flight, I mean, how do you apply this stuff to your business, and what benefits has it provided for you?
Oh my God! I mean, when I started my first PR firm back in the '90s, we'd take pizza and go to a random client's office once a month. Just we'd pick a client and go to their office and show up with pizza. Wouldn't announce ourselves, but just show up, right? And they were like, "What the hell?" But then we're like, "Guys, look, we're not charging you. We're not billing you for the pizza. We're not billing you for our time. We brought pizza because we want to sit down and hang out with you and find out what you're working on so we can get better ideas for stories and how to pitch you." And we'd simply go into a conference room and invite anyone in the company who wanted to join for pizza to show up. And they would. And it was amazing because we would learn stuff from them that they'd never otherwise tell us, right? They felt that they were, that they could talk, they felt calm, they felt, empowered. And we got them great press. So all of a sudden, our jobs became 50 times easier, and yet they were sitting there thinking, "My God, these people are so awesome."
Yeah.
So it was a double win, a double win, and all it really cost was a pizza pie.
And I mean, I'd appreciate that. Someone turn up a pizza. I think that'd be awesome, to be fair. And it shows as well, doesn't it, that these are really small things, really small acts. I mean, Do you approach your business this way all the time by really concentrating on the smaller steps and giving the smaller things 100% of your effort instead of just focusing on like one main end goal?
I think you do both. But for me, the smaller steps are sort of built in. I don't travel anywhere without a handful of iTunes gift cards. You never know who you're going to meet. I actually have business cards with the iTunes gift card on the back.
That's cool.
Right. So, and those go to my special, the top people in my world. Who wouldn't remember me with a $20 iTunes gift card on the back of my business card? On the flip side, my regular business card is a poker chip, which when you get it, you hold on to it, you play with it, you sit on your desk, you twirl it. So that's the key thing is you can't just be nice to some people and be shit to the others. There has to be, you're either nice to everyone, you can be super nice to some people, but you're either nice to everyone or you're going to get caught. The great story that everyone loves to tell about me and Morton's Steakhouse where they delivered a steak to the airport. Well, their job is not to deliver steaks to the airport. Their job is to provide great service to everyone. If you read about this, about me getting a steak at the airport, and then you went to Morton's and your table was late and your server was rude and your steak was cold, wouldn't matter how awesome they were to me. Right? It would be pretty shitty about how you felt. Wow, sure, they bring Shankman a steak to the airport, and mine tastes like crap.
Yeah.
So they have to make sure that they're on top of their game before they do something like that. And being on top of their game simply means being a little bit better. When you are bringing your girlfriend or your wife or whoever to Morton's, and they say, hey, are you celebrating anything? They ask you every time you make a reservation, whether it's your first time there or your millionth time, are you celebrating anything? Yeah, it's my girlfriend's birthday. What's her name? Her name's, Beth. Okay, we'll see you at Beth at 8 o'clock. You show up at 8 o'clock, and you get in, and they sit you down, and on the menu that they just printed out for you, it says, Happy Birthday, Beth. Right? Well, what happens next? Beth takes out her phone, Instagrams the shit out of that photo for the next 45 minutes. I can't get a drink, right? But who are Beth's friends? People just like Beth.
Yeah.
Right? People who Beth wants to hang out with, people who want to have a boyfriend like Beth does. So who's going to see that? And how is that going to benefit? Who's that going to benefit? That's going to benefit Morton's. Oh my God, I want to go to Morton's. Look what they did for Beth.
Yeah.
So, and that takes nothing. It is literally the easiest thing in the world to do.
Yeah, no, such incredible advice. Because I think people concentrate so much on the really complex things they can do to generate more business, and it literally is that simple, isn't it? It's brilliant.
Yep.
So I'd love to talk about actually faster than normal, because
Sure.
I've never seen this concept before, really, where a business sort of focused website has gone into really niching into like the A.D.H.D and the A.D.D angle and helping people specifically with these issues. Firstly, what made you decide to do this?
I always believed that my A.D.H.D was actually a benefit. It took years. In high school, junior high, it wasn't necessarily that much of a benefit. In junior high, I kind of felt horrible. But I felt over time that having a faster brain is actually a beneficial thing. And so I wound up reaching out and doing some homework and finding out that the majority of people out there sort of think the same way I do. There is a bigger world out there of people who have ADHD and who use it to their advantage. And so for me to be able to learn sort of how to do that and how to do that well, I realized, hey, I can actually do something beneficial here, and this actually might be worth money. It might be worth getting better. And if I'm doing it for me, then maybe the rest of the world might find value in it as well. So for the heck of it, I launched I did a webinar. And I invited, everyone in my network. I'm like, hey, I'm going to talk about how I use my ADHD to my advantage. Like 8,000 people signed up.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, holy crap, there's something here. And so that from there, that led me to sort of understand that there was more that I could do. And so that led to the birth of Faster Than Normal. Faster Than Normal then became this phenomenal website with these great interviews of people all over the world who are loving what they do and using their ADHD to their advantage. And yeah, we've been really lucky. We've had Seth Godin. We've had the chief of staff to the mayor of Boston. We've had the CEO of DocuSign. Really great people. Cameron Herold on the podcast. Like really, really great people who have shared this story. I've been very lucky. And of course, from that, Random House reached out, and it's been turned into a book. And so Faster Than Normal, the book, is coming out in November of 2017, so about a year from now.
Oh, brilliant. Fantastic. And it must be because whenever I approach people for my podcast, it's very easy for me to recognise that they're a good fit. But I mean, people don't really openly air that they've got ADHD normally. I mean, how do you find entrepreneurs that have got ADHD that are happy to discuss it? And I mean, do you openly ask people, have you got ADHD?
Well, I pretty much just ask them.
Yeah.
It's usually a pretty good guess that if you're an entrepreneur, you have it.
Yeah.
If you look at the people that started this country, hey, let's leave the monarchy and risk our lives to go over and start another country on that island over there. You don't do that shit unless you have serious issues to begin with. So, anyone who's ever done anything of value has pretty much had ADHD. No question about it.
Yeah. And I mean, I've got a friend who's got ADHD, and one of the biggest challenges he faces is it's not really simple, but the simple thing of just listening to other people. I mean, his brain is just clicking at 100 mile an hour all the time. So, I mean, what other sort of main challenges do you find people are facing with ADHD or ADD that they're talking to you about, and how are you helping them overcome them?
I think the biggest problem is that people tend to look at it as a negative. Once they realize there's actually a benefit to it and that it can be used to their advantage, that's when they start realizing, okay, maybe I don't need to fight this, but can actually find some value in it. If you stop fighting against the wind, right? If you stop fighting against the wind and try to use the wind to your advantage, you can actually, airplanes, when they take off, they actually take off into the wind.
Yeah.
Right? Because they need that lift. If you understand how to utilize airplanes to how to utilize wind or stuff against you to your advantage, it actually becomes an advantage.
Yeah. It's incredible advice. That really is actually. That's great advice. And I'm interested to know as well because, again, back to my friend who's got ADHD, he's very sort of regimented. He has to have routines in place to sort of function throughout his day. I mean, is this the case for you? Do you have any set routines that you have?
Oh, yeah. You have no idea. Actually, so you look at my closet. I have two sides to my closet. Closet's one side of my closet is, it says speaking or TV, and the other side says office. If it's a speaking or TV side, I have button-down shirts, jacket, and jeans. If it's office, I have T-shirt and jeans, and that's it. I don't have sweaters. I don't have any other kind of overcut. That's it. Because if I had a sweater in there, I'd get up in the morning, I'd go to the closet. What should I wear? Oh my God, I haven't worn that sweater. You know what? Laura gave me that sweater. I wonder whatever happened to Laura. I should look her up. Let me go. 3 hours later, I'm naked in my living room on Facebook and I haven't left the house. So it is very important.
Yeah.
Very important to make sure that everything I'm doing is. So I sleep in my gym clothes. I get up ridiculously early. I'm up usually around 3:30 every morning. Wow. Now that it's winter, I've put my bike onto my trainer. And, I'm always training for something. I have to exercise every day because if I don't, I have bad days. And so if I have a 3-year-old daughter. And so the only time I can find time to exercise when I have her, on the days that I have her, is super early in the morning. And so I roll out of bed, get onto my trainer, and do like 2 hours on the bike or something like that at 3:30 in the morning. I binge watch my movies, my TV shows. All that stuff is done then. I don't have any other time when I can do that.
I suppose you're just left alone at that time, right? I mean, I like to get up not as early. I'm normally up around 4:30 just to sort of do my reading and just sort of have a bit of an hour to myself because I've got an 11-month-old son and it's just, as you know, it's just crazy demanding children. That with work, so that's my sort of 1 hour a day where I'm left alone. Phones off, everything.
Yeah, no question about it. To be able to have that time, even if whatever you do, whether you meditate, you work out, whatever, to have that time to sort of, for me, it's a brain reset. It's the same reason I skydive, the same reason I do all those things. To be able to do that it's sort of self-medication and self-love. You have to do it.
Yeah, and am I right in saying you do CrossFit as well? Did I read that somewhere?
I did. I used to do CrossFit. CrossFit sort of became a little too cultish for me.
Yeah.
I didn't feel comfortable having to talk about CrossFit everywhere I went, and so it's like the joke of the woman who runs out of the cockpit. The flight attendant says, "Oh my God, is there a doctor on this plane that the pilot's passed out?" And two people stand up, and the first one says, "Well, I'm a CrossFitter," and the second one says, "Well, I'm me."
Yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome though, because I mean, my first business was, I've still got it, it's a CrossFit gym, but I can completely understand the cult side of things, because I even have to remove myself from it, because everyone's just like, CrossFit, CrossFit, CrossFit. It's like, oh please stop.
Yeah. And it's funny because I remember, I'm 44, so I remember working out in the 80s, and when you were done working out, you know what you did? You went home. You didn't take pictures of it. You didn't post it online. You didn't track it with Runkeeper. I'm like, my God, did I even work out?
Mm.
You know,
yeah.
Like, did I even do anything?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, I mean, this interview's flown by, to be fair, Peter. I mean, thank you for coming on today. Like I say, normally when I do research for people, I'll spend a few hours, I go through stuff, but I literally spend hours going through your stuff. You've got so much stuff going on. You've got some really awesome content. So before we wrap this up, though, I mean, I've just got a couple more questions. Firstly, have you got any parting words of wisdom for the listeners of the show before we leave you today?
I had two great quotes that I try to tell everyone. The first one came from a skydiving buddy of mine who's an older man. And you want to listen to old skydivers, because if they're still old and they're still skydiving, it means they haven't done anything stupid to kill themselves in the prior time. Yeah. And he said, I was once bitching about the fact that my friends didn't understand why I skydived. And he looked at me and he goes, "Son, if you can't change the people around you, change the people around you." Yeah. Right? And I love that. The basic premise that, which ties nicely into the second quote, which is, if you don't like where you are, move. You're not a tree.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. I love both of those. And by the way, that skydiving video you've got diving out the bomber looks
awesome?
Looks incredible, man. That looks so cool.
That was 10 years ago last week. Yeah, what an amazing time.
Yeah, really, that wicked. And secondly, Peter, I mean, where is the best place for people to find you online, and how can they get in touch with you?
Sure. My entire life is at shankman.com. I have a mastermind that I run at shankminds.com, which is about 130 people, all of whom are together in a mastermind. And we do great stuff there. And then the A.D.H.D website, of course, is fasterthannormal.com.
Brilliant. Peter, thank you so much for coming on today. Like I say, I was really excited to get you on today, especially after sort of doing a lot more research into you. You've got tons going on. And so I was just very appreciative that you come on and give us some of your time today.
Pleasure was mine, Sam. This was a lot of fun. Call me anytime.
Brilliant. Thanks, Peter. Thanks a lot. Okay, guys, and there it is. Peter, thank you so much for coming on the show today and just sharing your story with us. I mean, you've got an incredible story. The work you're doing is just amazing. And one key point I got from your interview, Peter, was just to be one level above crap. I think if everybody can just take that simple concept. I mean, Peter has built various successful businesses over a very, very successful 19-year career, which is still ongoing, just by using the premise of being one level above crap. It's that simple. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there setting up their own businesses. There's a lot of very good companies out there that are doing a very, very good things and helping a lot of people. But there are also a lot of bad companies. And if you can just be one level above crap, then excuse me, then you're going to already be sitting above the worst in the industry, and you're going to be seen as someone that's actually providing value for their audience, which is why we're here. So that's my key takeaway, guys. I'd love to know what yours are, because there's a lot in that interview. I mean, even if it's just sitting on the lounge floor on Facebook, completely butt naked, thanking people for your jumper. It's something. I mean, that story did get me, and it still makes me chuckle now. So, guys, I'd love to know your takeaways from this interview. And also, guys, we've got a ton of awesome stuff for the subscribers of this show. There's loads of going on in the back end now, which is putting together loads of really good content, which I don't put on the main site, which is exclusive for the subscribers now, because I really want to give the guys that invest in MyCoda something that's worth investing for. And all you have to do is bang your email list on that email address in that list below, guys, and you'll have access to everything that comes through there as well. So please do that if you want the extra, I call it awesome content, because I think it is awesome. And that is it, guys. I hope you have a fantastic week. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please do feel free to contact me if you want to talk about anything that was discussed in the show, or you want help on anything that you may be going through at the minute. And that is it. Thanks for joining us today, guys. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you next time on the MyCoda podcast.